skill to drive fast on pristine tarmac, rallying at top speed along mud-covered tracks is even more of a challenge. This demanding motorsport usually makes for a good game, which is one reason why the PS2's WRC Rally Evolution is the 6th title in the Dirt Driving series. Sony's franchise is the only one to boast official approval of the FIA World Rally Championship, so, as usual, you'll find all the real-life teams, cars, drivers and locations right here. Developers Evolution Studios have been behind the wheel of this series from the start, and for this edition, the game has truly evolved with some clever new features and the best visuals yet on a PS2 rally game. The unpredictable nature of the sport has been truly captured this time. Sure, your co-driver will still warn you of upcoming sharp turns, but now random hazards can get in your way too, like stray animals, fallen trees, and broken down competitors.
Cool. We've got some breathing space. 3 left.
These obstacles will change every time you play, just to keep you on your toes. Your ever-helpful co-driver now seems to have more character. He'll offer his congratulations when things are going well. Or tick you up when a concentration lap sends the car hurtling into a tree. Proper online multiplayer has also been included, so racing against human opponents in rallycross events is one welcome addition here. So, is racing off-road in 4x4s really 4 times the fun? Well, the score never lies, unlike my mother. We'll give it 4 out of 5. It's fast, dangerous and covered in mud. Take it for a ride.
Oh, no!
Quit bugging me. The Starship Troopers are coming in a new PC game, and they brought the perfect insect repellent with them.
Fleet's under attack. There's no time to get your ship ready.
Based on director Paul Verhoeven's 1997 sci-fi smash, Starship Troopers follows the exploits of a squad of futuristic soldiers as they do battle with giant alien bugs. Our insectoid investigators infiltrated Strangelight, the development team behind the new game.
You've only got to look at the film and see it like it's perfect potential to be a shoot 'em up, and especially a first-person shoot 'em up as well. So we'll jumped at the chance basically to make it.
I think the members of the development crew who were with us from the beginning have seen Starship Troopers the film more than practically anyone on the planet. We took a look at the film and realised that the very first thing that we saw in the battles was a lot of action, a lot of enemies on screen. The game takes place around 5 years after the film. The universe for Starship Troopers is broader than the actual film shows. I mean, it's based upon a book which is fairly complex. We've taken 1 or 2 elements from that, but mostly, of course, we're based on the film.
Get ready for combat. This is gonna be rough.
They basically take the action from the film and put it in our universe, if you like. So we've got the Whiskey Outpost section where you see the 300 bugs swarming towards you. We've got the Clendathu drop situation where you're dropped in with all the troopers, up to 150, 200 troopers, into this nighttime kind of situation where there's loads of plasma bolts flying off into the sky.
Starship Troopers is a full-on first-person shooter. It's not really old school, but it takes some of its inspiration from the old school titles like Doom, where you'd have lots of enemies on screen and you'd be fighting in a really visceral way. We wanted to get in a lot of cinematic action. The film is well known for having a lot of these arachnids, and that was really what we wanted to do, was make sure that we could have a lot of enemies on screen. So this has been a big focus for us in the development of the game.
Normal first-person shooters obviously deal with 3 or 4 enemies at once, and we're dealing with sometimes 300 or 400 enemies at once. So it's pretty fast-paced, pretty chaotic.
In order to show so much on-screen carnage, the team's developed a new engine which they've codenamed Swarm.
We developed the Swarm engine ourselves because we realised that we would need to do it to get the kind of action that we wanted. It started out by looking into the rendering and also the basic AI that we were going to use in the game.
right from the start, we wanted to get a lot of detail into the bug models, like we've been doing on the design sketches. And this engine has enabled us to do that with the per pixel lighting and the normal mapping. It allows us to get a really detailed bug for a few polygon count.
And we've come up with a really strong cast, if you like, of small bugs, tiny little massive bugs, you know, bugs that are as big as 6 or 7 stories high.
You've got the warrior class, which is the mainstay of the army, and you've got the hopper class, which is the Air Force, and then the big tankers, which are like the lava spurting big monsters, and each individual bug has its own AI and pattern. So you've got this enormous wave of bugs that can come and attack the player.
But spiders are so scary. How do these brave developers cope?
Do bugs scare me? Well, if bugs are 4 meter high arachnids like they are in the film, then certainly they scare me.
Am I scared of bugs? Depends how big they are. If they're bigger than my hand, I'll run.
Come on, you apes! You want to live forever?
Spiders, nicey little blighters, aren't they? Still, if you want to take your mind off of all of that scary business, then stay tuned, because later in this series, we're going to give you the chance to win a next-gen console. Impressive. Now, take a dash of gaming gossip and a sprinkling of scurrilous rumour, cook on Gas Mark 10 for 20 minutes, and voila, you have the perfect spam filter. From Doom to the moon. Well, nearly. Fabulously wealthy gaming legend and top dog at id Software John Carmack is all set to enter his own rocket into a spaceflight exhibition. The event, held in New Mexico, is called the X Prize Cup, and Carmack will pilot a competing rocket designed by his company, Armadillo Aerospace. Anyone expecting to see Carmack strapped into his ship is going to be disappointed, though. The rocket is only remote control. Presumably hoping to offer something to the girls after the bouncing delights of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, Bungie have confirmed that a Halo character will appear in the forthcoming Dead or Alive 4. They said, Bungie has indeed been chatting with the good folks over at Team Ninja. We're huge fans of DOA and Ninja Gaiden, and when Team Ninja approached us with an intriguing idea, well, we were intrigued. What they've done is to bring an element of Halo directly into the DOA world. It's cool, and by cool, I mean totally sweet. Well, we don't speak Californian, but we gather they're quite pleased. Speculation is rife as to what character will soon be punching and kicking, but the word is it won't be the Master Chief. Shame. Staying with Halo, Hobbit squashing moguls Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh look like they'll be acting as executive producers on the Halo movie. Although the Chief and his alien enemies won't be gracing our screens until 2007, Microsoft were canny enough to make the announcement in time for Jackson's next big project, King Kong. Jackson spoke of his enthusiasm for all things Halo via video at the XO5 event in Amsterdam. Can the involvement of a big name actually make a video game movie any good? Or will we all still be suffering from what's become known as Milla Jovovich syndrome? Only time will tell. The stadiums are filling up and the fans are chanting their readiness for the arrival of Pro Evolution Soccer 5 on the PS2, Xbox and PC.
As the fans make themselves heard around the stadium.
Konami's acclaimed football series has long been the connoisseur's choice for an accurate yet highly playable simulation of the beautiful game.
Attacking from the right side, Arsenal.
Pro Evo doesn't boast all the big names that come with the official FIFA license, but it does feel like football. Like in the real-life sport, goals have to be properly worked at, so when they're scored, they feel a bit more special. This year's faces are France and Arsenal's prolific striker Thierry Henry, along with John Terry, the rock-like England and Chelsea defender. Both are long-term fans of the series, we're told. Widespread improvements are in store for this visit. Player animations will be even silkier and the familiar control system will be tuned up, so you should be able to sidestep that tackle easier and send those searching upfield passes to their targets more accurately. The hotly anticipated PSP version of Pro Evo 5 will apparently allow interconnectivity with the PS2, so you'll really be able to play away from home. What's more, the PS2 game should finally be blessed with online one-on-one multiplayer, while 2-on-2 matches are promised for Xbox Live. We'll soon be scampering eagerly back onto the pitch for our review. OK, part one's over with, so forget about it and move on. Just gear yourself up for part two, because that is going to blow your tiny mind. Still to come, meet the guys who play games for a living. Sing when you're winning in SingStar 80s. And settle arguments the old-fashioned way with a massive fight in Genji. See you after the break.
Brace yourself for the bitterness, rivalry and sheer passion that is the Rome Derby. Roma versus Lazio, Sunday at 7, live on Bravo.
Bupa's here to make you feel better. We'll help you to see the same consultant throughout your treatment at a time and place to suit you. You'll also have plenty of time to ask any questions and be cared for in a clean, peaceful and comfortable environment. To find out how Bupa can make you feel better, call us today free on 0800 600 500.
With the One account, you can pay off your mortgage early and save money by combining it with your current account.
I always said that one day I'd work for myself, and now I've paid off my mortgage. Here I am.
You can pay more off your mortgage when you want to, and less when you need to.
You can even take a payment break and do something you've always dreamed of.
This is even more amazing than I ever expected it to be. It really is.
You can also borrow extra money at the same rate as your mortgage as soon as you set up your account.
So you could make some of those home improvements you've always talked about.
I'm so pleased to get rid of that hideous bath.
And it's easy to switch. We'll sort out everything for you straight away, even your direct debits and standing orders.
So whether you'd like to pay off your mortgage early, take that once-in-a-lifetime trip, or even just do up the house, the One account is the ultimate flexible mortgage and can help you make one day today. Call us now on 08456 10 20 80.
Jolly good shot, Tracy.
You don't have to be posh to be privileged.
Cup hole.
I say, Wade.
Tally-ho. Large refreshment.
If you haven't claimed on your home insurance for 4 years, Privilege will guarantee to beat your renewal quote.
Thank you, Hobson. Anyone for croquet?
Only don't tell this lot.
My go. What?
I'm rather enjoying working in a smaller house.
For cheaper home insurance, call Privilege now or buy at privilege.com.
If you're stuck with an old, unreliable car because you can't get credit, don't worry, because at Yes Car Credit, you could get a better car. And a service that's second to none. Just give us a call, and even if you've been refused elsewhere, we could approve you over the phone right away. Then just go along to your nearest showroom, where a friendly advisor will agree a payment with you and help you choose from a wide range of makes and models to suit your budget. There's even a choice of cars from just 12 months old. We offer competitive interest rates, and you could use your old car as full deposit. All our cars are 125-point quality checked and come with 12 months AA vehicle membership as standard, so you can buy with complete confidence. We'll even give you 7 days to exchange the car if you change your mind. You can drive away the very same day, and with Yes Care, our special after-sales package, our service just keeps on going.
So call us now on 0800 085 5150. Click on yescarcredit.net or see us in the yellow pages and discover why Britain's saying yes to Yes Car Credit.
World Poker Tour tonight at 10.
Be there.
Travel up.
World Poker Tour 2005 on Player, part of Challenge. Pulls all the aces in poker on TV.
Welcome back to Gamer TV Next Gen. Now, First up, roll up your jacket sleeves and douse your head in hairspray because this is SingStar 80s. Following the swinging 60s and the funk-filled 70s, the 1980s is widely regarded as something of a musical black hole. There's a lot of people wishing the tunes of the time would vanish, along with the Dealey Brothers and the Betamax video. But that hasn't stopped a recent revival of all things 80s, a phenomenon that those observant types at Sony HQ have duly noted. Their response, the release of SingStar 80s. This is the game that lets you croon along with your PS2 to a ton of those 80s chart hits, tunes that older gamers will have ingrained on their psychics. The track listing veers from totally ironic musical travesties to tunes that are actually a lot better than you remember them.
It's the final countdown.
With rocking numbers like Europe's epic The Final Countdown jostling for position with early rap efforts like Vanilla Ice's laughable Ice Ice Baby and a plethora of pop, there's bound to be something here that will jerk some sort of memory from that decade, good or bad. SingStar 80s is a blast from the past for those with dubious musical tasting.
Our house, it has a crown.
So, is SingStar as sweet and soulful as an Aretha Franklin solo, or as nauseating and screechy as a Jerry Halliwell B-side? Here comes the score. We'll give it 3 out of 5. Straight into number 1 with a bullet. Good rocking. When your CV boasts games like Street Fighter 2, Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, any project you take on is going to come with a whole heap of expectations. So hopes are especially high for Genji, the debut title from Yoshiki Okamoto's newly established development studio, Game Republic. It's just as well then that this PS2 samurai venture delivers the goods. Genji's story is based on an 11th century Japanese legend of the same name. You play a pair of heroes, a brave young samurai called Genkuro and his companion, the massive warrior monk, Benkai.
I, Benkei, shall have your life.
Their adventure begins when the ruling Genji clan are toppled from power by the despotic Heishi clan. Our heroes embark on a quest to take out their evil warlord Kiyomori and free the people of Japan from the bad guys' tyrannical grip. You could easily be forgiven for assuming this is an extension of Capcom's Onimusha series. You've got beautifully rendered, forced perspective environments, and they're always welcome hack-and-slash samurai showdowns. Rather than sucking up demonic souls, though, bashing enemies here will fill the Kamui gauge. When activated, magical crystals slow down time. This allows you to slice multiple enemies while remaining invulnerable to their attacks. Providing you time your button presses just right. Happily, RPG elements such as character progression sit well with the action-focused gameplay. So you'll spend less time navigating dull menus and more time chopping up bad samurai. Going berserk across ancient Japan with a giant sword might sound like the best fun you've ever heard of, but is Genji a genuine shogun, or should it impale itself on a rusty can opener in the dramatic act of Sibuku? Well, here's the score. We'll give Genji 4 out of 5. Sharper than a brand new katana, that game's so good you could lose a finger. Ah, Paris, home to Victor Hugo, Balzac, Jean-Paul Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir, and rather less pleasantly, Jim Morrison. From the 5th to the 10th of July, however, the famous Carrousel du Louvre was home to a gathering of a different brand of hero, the Electronic Sports World Cup. This year's competition attracted over 800 professional gamers from 52 countries. Foremost in the minds of each was not only the chance to become an international gaming hero, but also the possibility of taking a cut of cash prizes totaling $300,000. Our story, however, begins in New York City, where veteran US team Complexity won this year's preliminary round for the Counter-Strike tournament. The Futuroscope Science Park near Poitiers, France, played host to the Warcraft 3 preliminary. The winner, a man known as Wolf. To everybody's delight, a Pro Evo prelim took place in Martinique in the Caribbean. Dubai saw qualifiers for both Counter-Strike and Warcraft 3. And even in Bulgaria, the ladies played Counter-Strike, but we have to say, we found their celebrations more exciting. And we weren't the only ones. And so to Paris. Ladies first with the female Counter-Strike final. After ascending through 4 groups and 24 teams, it was an early American win and $10,000 for the lasses of GX3.
It feels great. We're just overwhelmed right now, and I don't think it's hit us yet that we actually won. It's just a lot of practice. It's just practice. Practice makes perfect, I suppose.
The Austrian Falcon won both the KISS and $6,000 in the Unreal tournament. While over in the Warcraft 3 competition, Michael Bignett, aka Wins, beat 64 rivals across 8 groups. He also scooped the prize for the biggest fib of the day.
I'm gonna party tonight.
Of course you are. The Gran Turismo 4 tournament was won by Frenchman Eric Lenoir, aka Snake. Not only did he walk off with $12,000, but also a new fan base.
I'm very happy. There are no words to describe it. It's just magic.
This year's Quake 3 final was destined to be the last. In a memorable match, Russian champ Kula beat off competition from the established hero, American Paul Nelson.
It's the last Quake 3 tournament, and I am first in last year in Quake 3.
Yes, you are. The Pro Evo Cup went to the Saudi Arabian Joker. He took home $13,000. And so to the event's highlight, the Counter-Strike final. The prize at stake was a whopping $40,000. After years of near misses, Complexity carried on their winning streak from New York and took the cup back to the US.
We've been practicing for a long time, and basically we just did exactly what we've been practicing for so long.
But even with so much money at stake, it's the taking part that counts, or as they say in Paris, l'essentiel est de participer. Or something. OK, it's time for this week's competition. Empire Interactive Starship Troopers have given us this superb gaming PC to give away. Simply answer this bug-related question. How many legs does an arachnid have? Is it A, 8 legs, B, 6 legs, or C, 4 legs? To enter, phone our competition hotline on 09014 900 320. Calls cost 50p and you must be over 18 to enter. For full terms and conditions, go to www.bravo.co.uk. Lines will close at midnight on the 26th of October. OK, so if the PlayStation 3 is competing with the Xbox 360, does that mean that the Xbox is 354 times better than the PlayStation? No, of course it doesn't. What a stupid question. Let's move on. Here's a bloke that you wouldn't want to find lurking in your bathroom cabinet. Meet the Painkiller. If your weekends are ruined by hordes of the undead using old ladies as thermos flasks, who are you going to call? No, not the Ghostbusters. They'd wet themselves. How about this gunslinger? Meet the... Yeah, thanks, Mum. But this is more of a revisit than an introduction. Painkiller Hell Wars is the long-anticipated Xbox version of last year's slice of PC zombie baiting. You play Daniel Garner, a poor schlub who's been roped in to fight the enemies of goodness wherever he might find them. Luckily, he'll generally find them about 3 feet away from the front of his gun. This is going to be one intense console shooter. Despite the violence, we're pretty confident that this port will dance the line between creepy and comic, even though the levels walks are still scary as anything. The original PC Painkiller was a commercial and creative hit and can only do better on a console scene with slightly fewer FPS rivals. The release date is still shifting around a bit and there's a strong possibility that it may slip over into the beginning of next year. In the meantime, if you're feeling the heat of horror, who are you going to call again? That's right, Mum. Now, give us a biscuit. Petrified? Don't be embarrassed about it. I am too. But I'm going to leave you with more footage of the undead just to make sure you go away scared. Hey, if you suffer nightmares, then we're doing our job right. See you next time on Gamer TV Next Gen.
Come on, you apes! You want to live forever?